I love gifts. I don't just love gifts, gifts are love to me. And if you're watching this right now, then this probably rings true to you too, even just a little bit. But why does it feel so wrong to say that gifts is my love language? Does that really make me materialistic?
Je vois la vie en Joyce.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to La Vie en Joyce, where I share about how I center myself every day in the world that benefits from her self abandonment. Today, we are talking about gifts as a love language. Now, just to be clear, I'm not here to teach you anything. I'm just sharing my thoughts, and then you get to form your own opinion about the topic. Earlier this week, I crashed out in my audio diary about how my loved ones have been showing love to me. Now, when it comes to love, there are many ways in which you can communicate it, but the most important thing is for you to communicate it in a way that the other person can also understand. An example that I've heard that I really love is the story of the lion and the doe who fell in love. Yeah, I know that sounds very risky, but hey. So Valentine's Day comes around and they both get gifts for one another. The doe goes and finds the finest fruits and the most aromatic herbs and brings that to the lion. Obviously, the lion is quite underwhelmed because lions don't enjoy these things and they don't need that. But do you know what the lion is excited about? About what he got the doe. Fresh meat he had just caught in the forest. And so he gives it to his lover and she goes like, the moral of the story is you do not love people how you want to be loved. You love people how they want to be loved. Which brings us back to the love languages. There are 5 primary love languages: words of affirmation, quality time, receiving gifts, acts of service, and physical touch. So when it comes to gifts, we didn't make that up. This is literally one of the love languages that they suggested to us. But I guess the other ones also can get a bad rep. For example, if you love words of affirmation, someone out there might tell you that you're insecure. If you like quality time, some people might say you're needy. If you like physical touch, especially if you're a man, people might call you a pervert. And I know some of y'all out there swiped left on these apps whenever a guy said, my love language is physical touch. I know you. I see you. I've done it before too. As for acts of service, I guess people might say that you're lazy. I don't know. But no one gets it like receiving gifts. Suddenly, when your love language is receiving gifts, you become this materialistic, gold digging. But I get it. We live in a world where everything is getting more and more expensive, where the gap between the middle class and the wealthy just keeps on increasing, and where everything feels like a transaction. Especially with that last one, everything feeling like a transaction. I genuinely believe that it's because we all struggle to trust each other and everyone is trying to put their interests first. So when I say this, I'm not saying everyone is trying to do what is best for them first, but rather that we're all trying to get something out of the relationship, out of the interaction. And so, because of this, everything does feel like a transaction. But let me know in the comments if you can think of another reason why everything feels like a transaction nowadays. All in all, though, because of our current social climate, I do understand how having gifts as your love language can be very tricky to navigate, especially as women. We are taught to be the ones who always give without expecting anything in return, or the ones to always overextend ourselves for the sake of others. So when you step into the room and you say, my love language is gifts, it feels already too demanding as a premise. This is why I wanted to talk about this topic on the channel as well, because it does relate to the idea of being self centered, self loving, self accepting, etc. So, usually, when you get a gift for someone, it is a sign of celebration and a token of your appreciation for them. So, maybe it's their birthday or some other special occasion, or you want to celebrate something that they've done. Therefore, I do believe that to enjoy gifts, it demands a confidence that people might not always be comfortable with. Especially as a woman, when you have the confidence to ask for what you want, it can be perceived as uncouth. You're more likely to encounter direct resistance to this on the dating scene. Yes. I believe it's usually from men who are either self serving or men who are attracted to you but cannot afford to love you how you want to be loved or are simply not willing to. Because, in the same way that they will tell you you're asking for too much, they will be willing to spend double the money or double the effort, double the resources to do something for themselves. And so, therefore, your confidence becomes a hindrance in their plan of still getting with you, even though they're not willing to put in the effort that you demand. In a situation like this, being able to remain self centered is super important so that you will not be convinced to shrink yourself just for the sake of a relationship. I mean, we've all encountered at least once a man who is hell bent on humbling you or making you feel like you're asking for too much. However, such people hate themselves and can only feel big by making others feel small. So don't waste your time with those people. On the other hand, I also want to double down on the confidence of someone who likes gifts by mentioning the people who usually don't like to receive things. It's not always like this, but what I've noticed oftentimes is that the people who don't like to receive things tend to also struggle with self esteem or self value. And this is related to the fact that they don't like being celebrated because they feel like they don't deserve it. Now, it's true that those who like gifts could also have some insecure reasons for wanting to be celebrated, but that's not our focus today. Let's go back to this idea of deserving gifts. This idea of deserving celebration is something that probably goes back to our formative years. Many of us did not experience being celebrated just because. Many of us did not experience unconditional love. For most of us, we only clearly received celebration when we did something that was well seen or appreciated. That was also my experience in some measure. But as someone who enjoys receiving gifts, I do believe that it is also connected to the fact that my parents always told me that I was a child made out of love and that I was wanted. And therefore, even in my darkest times, I've always had the mindset of, I'm here because people wanted me to be here. If you're someone who does struggle a little bit or a lot of bit with the idea of being wanted, of being loved, I highly recommend also finding the proper people around you who can remind you of that, who can remind you that there are people who simply appreciate you because you're there. I pray on your life that you may find that feeling, hallelujah. All that to say, many of us have learned that love is conditional. Me, I believe that love is unconditional, but access is conditional. I remember someone saying that even if you go to hell, you cannot deny that God has loved you. And personally, I agree with that. I believe that as human beings, we all have an inherent value that is worth being celebrated every single day. So it is okay to give someone a gift as a reward, but I'd rather not even seeing this way. Even when you do something good that is worth being celebrated, I would rather think of it as we are celebrating your decision making, your character, rather than just thinking of it as good job, here's a gift. And I genuinely believe that if we reframe it in that way, that we can bridge the gap between those who love receiving gifts and those who love them. I saw this post and I really liked it. I like men who buy you things just to see you smile: a perfume, lollipop, a purse, flowers, a new lip gloss, a water bottle, anything. You know what? You my type. There's a song that's in my head right now, but I can't find it. E my type. He's so cute. Oh,
I
I
like
like.
him, like him too. He my man, he my boo, he my type. He's so cute. I want him and I want him too.
Another thing to clarify is that when it comes to gifts, yes, sometimes we want expensive things, but sometimes I just want a little trinket that shows me you thought of me and you know me. Let me give you an example. I remember that time when a bunch of people that I knew all went on a trip together. And when they returned, a few of them brought back small things for me. So plushies, notebooks, fans. But the one gift I really remember to this day is a solid stick perfume in my favorite scent. I probably have it somewhere. I'm just too lazy to go and get it. Now, it was not expensive, but I absolutely love perfumes. And vanilla, which was the scent, is my ultimate go-to. The thing is, I don't even remember actually sitting down and discussing this with this person. And I think they just picked that up through our different interactions and just seeing me go about my life. A lot of the things that people brought back are things that I mentioned. Oh, I would like this. I would like that. And they took it to heart to just bring it back. But I never asked that person for that. At the end of the day, this was even better than anything I could have asked for because they got it not out of my request, but out of paying attention. So ultimately, if you're trying to understand what matters with people who love gifts, is first and foremost feeling like we're celebrated. That's my take on it. But also the effort that you put into it. So when you get something expensive, that is obviously big effort because the money didn't fall from the sky. But sometimes the expensive choice can also be the easier choice because it doesn't require the effort of observing and understanding and seeing the person. And you know what I'm saying? And the best type is when, of course, they overlap. So, yes, it's something that can be expensive, but it's something that I didn't necessarily ask you for. You saw that I wanted it, or you picked up on the fact that I wanted it, and you just got it. I'm feeling emotional just thinking about it. I look like ketchup and mustard, but I like it. It's really cute. The last thing I want to address is the concept of spoiling yourself. Now, as I said in my reel, to spoil yourself doesn't mean being financially irresponsible. You need financial security to spoil yourself and to feel safe, period. Can you really spoil yourself if you don't have basic security? So, saving money to splurge on yourself, allowing yourself to spend money on yourself gives you the opportunity to experience the type of love that you want. It also gives you the confidence to demand it from your different relationships. It makes you comfortable with receiving something simply for the sake of being happy or putting a smile on your face. Also, it gives you the power to celebrate yourself instead of waiting for other people to decide whether they will do it or not. When I was a people pleaser, I used to pour myself into others to the point of depletion, hoping that someone will see it and do the same thing for me. Let me tell you, it never came back to me. And I actually wouldn't wish for anyone to completely deplete themselves and depend on others to get anything back. Funny enough, it is when I started pouring into myself first and overflowing from there that people actually began treating me a lot better. I genuinely believe this is because people treat you in the way that they see you treating yourself. So, if you're someone who loves receiving gifts, don't feel bad and don't let anyone guilt trip you or silence you into not saying what you want. Wanting to be celebrated is a very normal thing, and wanting the support that can come through a gift is also a normal thing. So you go ahead, spoil yourself, and let people know this is how you want to be loved. And I'll see you in the next one.